believe it or not, you do get people who are constantly rolling towards end of the month, like rolling, you know. Some of them even who like rapping are all up on some cash money, cash money, cash money, I like cash, yo. Is it end of the month already? Oh, I didn't realize. Because you know, I'm never broke. Then there's people who are the very opposite. Come 10 days after they were paid, right? 10 days after payday. Payday may be your allowance, it could possibly be your salary or grant money, whatever it is. Payday is payday. 25th, 30th, 20th if you're working for the bank. Come 10 days after that and you're all up on some kunzima mali. You pinebandi kuyabanda ndibroke ndithini na namali man. Who do you want to be? Do you want to roll towards the end of the month, or do you want to sokola, trying to find essence, having a spatch, you know, full of cards and papers and maybe like just the 50 rand for the rest of the month? No, you don't want to be that person. And today I'm about to help you get out of that. Hi guys, my name is Yolanda and welcome to my channel. Of course, it is Africa month, so I am dressed in some sort of African ensemble. I don't know how many cultures there are in here, but I am celebrating being African. And of course, if you are born in Africa or you've got parents who are born here, wherever you are in the world, happy Africa month. Africa Day was the 25th of May, in case you didn't know. But that's not what this video is about. Today, sikuluma about saving, because one of the things that we really struggle with, especially as students and young professionals, it is saving, or even being savvy with our finances. So obviously the Cash is King series has begun, and that's the whole point of this video, because we can't be talking about entrepreneurship and investments here and there and buying property if we don't even know how to save. You know what I mean? And today we are going to talk about 5 simple ways to start saving. You don't want to be that person who is broke 10 days after you were paid. You want to be that person who realizes, you know, when your phone goes ding ding, that you just got paid and that it's end of the month. You know, you had so much money you didn't even realize it was end of the month. You want to be that person, so listen now. Tip number 1. Budgeting. I know. You're probably thinking, what? Really? Is that a step to saving? That's right. You've got to know what is going on with your finances, and the best way to do that is by budgeting. Duh. So what do? Obviously you've got some sort of income. I hope, you know, if you don't, you're probably working towards getting some sort of income. If you are in high school, your allowance or your pocket money is your sort of income, you know. Yeah. So you've got your income and you've got your expenses. I always split my expenses into fixed expenses and flexible ones. Obviously the fixed ones are like my mortgage bond, it could be your rent, it could be your car expense. I mean, you know, you should know what is fixed. It's mostly your debit orders. Make sense? That becomes your fixed. Your flexi is your entertainment. Most of the time that's where our money goes to, teen as youngsters. So that's a flexible. It changes every time, because tonight you're going to spend 500 bucks, tomorrow you forget your debit card and you use your credit card and you're spending 1,000 bucks because you don't know how much you're swiping, you know. Or you've got that bursary, and I've heard this, anyway, whatever that is, those are the flexible stuff where you are spending it on items that are not monthly fixed expenses, right? So obviously you take your income, you deduct your expenses. I know most of the time these expenses are actually more than our income. In real life we mostly end up with a deficit and not a surplus, but in theory we should actually have some sort of surplus, because our income is supposed to cover our expenses, but it's the other way around. This one eats that one, you know. It happens, trust me, it happens. But I'm about to teach you to get out of that. So yeah, that's budgeting 101. Tip number 2, your statement. I look at my statement once every 3 months, just because I would get paranoid if I looked at it every month, you know. But it really helps me to kind of fine tune my expenses and also look at my real priorities, you know, and look at find ways to better use my money. So have a look at your statement, try it out. It's not that bad. The first time you look at your statement, you're just like, oh my gosh, you know, but then it gets easier over time. It's just so that you know where your money is going to and where your money is being wasted. And of course, it helps you prioritize. That's really as simple as that. But it is step number 2 and very, very important before you even start saving. You kind of have to know what is happening in your bank account all the time. Plus, if you see those odd 18 rands and 9 rand 50s that you don't know, it's easy to just call your banker or go to the branch. I never had time to do that, so I just pick up the phone, call my bank, and I'm just like, there's a 950 that I do not know where it's coming from. Most of the time, my banker can see more than what I can, because most of the time on my statement, it's like something AZM0001. Like, what the heck? How am I supposed to know what that description means, you know? Tip number 3, that is set a goal. I need my money. If I am saving, for instance, at the moment I'm saving for my second car, I want to buy it cash, so that's what I'm putting away for. And then me and Boo Boo, you know, we're gonna get married, so we gotta obviously save up for the wedding, and that's what I'm also saving towards. And then of course there are other little things, but the most important is to set short-term goals first, especially if you are a beginner. You want to set little financial goals that will help you attain those big things, and by small short-term goals I mean things like gadgets, maybe some furniture, deco pieces that you want that are, you know, pricey. Maybe they're 3 grand, 4 grand, whatever, and upwards. You kind of want to save for that, and you don't want to use your credit card immediately because you've been impulsive or that kind of thing, you know. But it happens. So set a goal, name your money, and it will just make saving so much easier because you know what you're saving towards, and it also makes it pleasurable to save towards something that you know is a goal. Tip number 4, set a set amount that you'll save every month. Does that make sense? So 5%, 10%, 20% of your income, set that percentage in your head first, and then in your budget. Obviously we want to put that amount in your budget first, and of course we want to save that portion first, not, you know, once you all dried up and broke again and you want to try and save from that deficit. No, we're not going to try that. So if you have never saved in your life, start with 5%. If I earn 10,000 rand, 1,000 rand, depending on my expenses, I would try to save, and that would obviously be 10%. If you can't, try 500 bucks a month. And if you don't even have a goal, just think of December, boss. December, you also want to be right. And you want to be part of e-girls as you right. And if you would be now you want to be right? So that's an easy goal. Start with 500 bucks. You know, I know people who say, oh no, I'll never start from 50 rand or 500 rand, you know, in terms of saving. I'll save once I've got more money. Well, we start attaining wealth by creating wealth from what we have, you know. So from the little that you have, 10,000 rand, if you earn 1,000 bucks, start with 50 rand. I literally would even save from as little as 20 bucks and put it under my bed if I've got that extra bit. But yeah, set an amount, 5%, 10%, 20%, and stick to that. Do it first thing in the month, you know, after all your debit orders are gone. Take that portion out, put it away. Don't look at it, but do think about it and make it a positive thought, obviously. Tip number 5, finally, you have now obviously done everything. You've budgeted, you've looked at your statement, you've set a goal, and you've set an amount that you're going to save every month. It's 5%, it's 10%, it's 20%, whatever it is. Now it's time to actually step into reality. You've only got 2,000 rand left. You've put away your money, you've budgeted, and you're thinking, how the heck am I going to make it through the month? You don't want to be crawling to the end of the month again. So you start making small changes, small sacrifices. One of those ways is, you know, transport. For instance, we use so much money on petrol. So if you are driving to work every day, maybe find somebody who lives close to you and start carpooling, sharing the petrol amount. If you do have an option to use the Gautrain, do it. It is cheap, if it is cheaper, of course. If you live in Pretoria, I don't know, and you're working in Johannesburg, it's quite a distance, so it's more expensive. But, you know, play around with the numbers and see what is cheaper. For me, I live 2 k's from work, so I should be walking. If you are living close, don't be like me. I would save about 400 bucks if I walked every single day, back and forth. But sometimes I've got my work laptop and I don't want to risk it, you know. So anyway, yeah, that's the petrol side of things. If you've got a credit card, don't be spending on every little thing, especially on food and clothing. I would not advise for you to be using your credit card for such things. In fact, I wouldn't even advise you to have an account with like clothing shops. Guys, why are we buying clothes on credit? Unless if it's really a quality piece, you know, or that 2,000, 3,000 rand boot that you want to get. I kind of understand, but your credit card should be used for emergencies and things like flights. You know, if you're going overseas or you paying for a vacation, those are the kind of things that I think your credit card should go for. And I'm basing this purely on my experience from working in the bank and seeing how they look at your spending habits. It is so much better if you're using it for those kind of things instead of going to Woolies Foods and buying lunch on your credit card. Not advisable. So stop making small changes like that, you know. And also packing lunch, that's another thing. Stop buying a KFC burger every single day. Really, do you have to? Yeah. And then of course the biggest expense, which I said is a variable, a flexi expense, is entertainment. We spend so much on entertainment and food and going out. Jeepers, I know 500 bucks can fly in one night, and that's just a Friday night. There's still Saturday night, there is still Sunday afternoon chill. So wait, can we reduce all of that just by a tad little bit? First of all, if you're splurging with your friends, it's okay, like splitting the bill. Look at ways like that, or just go out 2 times a week instead of 3 times, and then reduce that to once a week instead of 3 times. There's no need. And find ways of also being savvy with it. Don't be splurging that, you know, making it rain when you go out just once a month, you know, with your friends, and then that's it. You don't have anything more. Portion your money. Name it again, put 500 rand and say this is what I'm going to use tonight, or this is what I'm going to use this weekend. So start saving and start living a life where you are creating your own wealth with the small little income that you have, or that big money, cash money that you got. And yeah, it's going to make life so much easier when you start looking at bigger things to invest in, like property and, you know, shares, stocks, whatever. You guys know I like to get this conversation going. Share this video with your friends and let's stop it. Let's stop eating imali and start saving imali. Cheers, guys.